as Xbox is set to release a bunch of big titles this year, 2 more could be on the way. Welcome everybody and thank you for joining me. We have one big thing to go over today, and that is new exclusive projects that Xbox is working on. It is no secret that Microsoft is having a great year when it comes to games. They have released Age of Empire 4 and Forza Horizon 5, both of which has been received extremely well. They also announced Redfall. We got to see further detail on Starfield, and thanks to a leak from an insider and the reporting of Windows Central, we also got some exclusive images and information for Avowed. There is also a bunch of other secret projects in the works like Project Belfry and Project Cobalt from In Exile. The biggest game set to release soon for Xbox though is obviously Halo Infinite. The point here is that they do have a lot of things going on right now, and thanks to an all new leak they have even more games on the way. Windows Central reported last week that there are 2 all new exclusive titles in the works for Xbox, codenamed Project Midnight, being worked on by Compulsion, and Project Pentament, that is being worked on by Obsidian. Now when it comes to Project Midnight, Windows Central says recently we received some detail on Compulsion's first outing as part of Xbox Game Studios. Currently codenamed Midnight, this upcoming title is supposedly a third-person action game set in a fantasy and dark world. Some of the game's early concept artwork can be seen above. They represent the game's protagonist alongside a wrapped harpy-like humanoid that appears to descend through various iterations of mutation. On the left we see what appears to be a harpy nest style dwelling built atop a tree. Midnight is described as a coming of age tale upon inspiration from America's Deep South. The game features magic and large fantasy beasts with a strong southern gothic vibe. The game is a wholly single player experience with what has been described as a strong story. Now as of right now, that is all of the information that we have on the title. They do go on to note here that we are still a long way off in terms of seeing anything for this game, and it might be another few years before they announce anything. Usually these things do take a lot of time, and depending on how big the game will be, it might even be longer than that. Now secondly, we have Obsidian's Pentament, and here they state that Pentament refers to an underlying image on a painting, especially one that has become visible when on top a layer of paint and has turned transparent with age, according to the directory. This naming convention hit at the game's premise, by which you act as an investigator in 16th century Europe uncovering the truth behind the Gritzy murder. Grub mentions that Pentament takes cues from the likes of Disco Elysium and the branching narrative designs Josh Schreier is known for. You will be able to investigate and make accusations against characters in-game, which could lead to a cascade of consequences if you are wrong. It will be a dialogue-heavy game with decisions to make and response options to choose from, which will shape your experience as you unwrap the murder conspiracy before you. Pentament is being built by a small team of around 12 people and is more of a narrative RPG adventure than something combat oriented. The art asset above might represent some of the design the game is running for. Grubb also mentioned that Pentament is exploring experimental gameplay elements too, although they may ultimately not make it into the final release. Speaking of which, it is also mentioned that Pentament is indeed gunning for a 2022 launch. So as they state here for this game, they are actually much closer to a release date, and we could see it as soon as 2022. Judging by how fast that is, the game has either been in development for quite some time now, or it is a much smaller style game. But anyway, that is all of the information that I have today, so this is where I'm going to end it. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button. If you would like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing, and as always, please remember to stay safe, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and I hope to see you again soon.